What's up, everybody? What's up? Welcome to the Mr. Straight Fact Show. Let's get into it. Today, the stocks bounced back, which is a good thing, but it's all over the place. Some of you guys made your money back, or at least some of your money back. We still haven't gotten back to the top. We're still in a loss, but it came back today, and many, believe it's due to Scott Bessent. I think his name is Scott, saying that we can't handle this tariff thing anymore. We're gonna have to figure something out. So that's what investors are saying, in the hopes that the White House has, opened its mind to the fact that they're gonna have to figure something out and make it work. But here's the thing. What's up, Five on Fire? No, I don't know for sure if I got your email and gotten back. I haven't gotten back to you yet, but I think I have seen your email. I'm not 100% sure on everything because it's been a whirlwind of different emails coming my way, and I have to answer. I had to answer like five of them today, so I'll get to yours. Trust me. But I think I've read like the subject or something of that nature. I haven't gotten to it fully. But like I was saying, it has to deal with the investors believe that because Bissett was saying that we can't deal with this much longer, which it should have never been something we had to deal with to begin with. But that doesn't really mean that Donald Trump has realized this. It's just that this Bissett guy, who's the only mind that everybody trusts somewhat in the money world, and they consider him to be a smart person. Some say a genius, but if he's that, and he's everything they say he is, he must be going crazy trying to manage Sir Idiot in the office, right? It must be crazy for him because I mean anybody with half a brain about finances knows that he's doing something wrong. These tariffs, and I was excited today because with these tariffs, I was excited when I woke up. The first thing I saw in the Atlantic, um, it popped up on my screen, and I opened it up, and I was like, "Oh man, this is great that somebody's actually seeing it." This was in the Atlantic this morning. Let me see if I can find it here. Um, yeah, that's it right there. In the Atlantic, where's my picture? There we go. I'm gonna get to it in a second. I just got rid of something I shouldn't have. There we go. All right. In the Atlantic today, they have they talked about Hitler terrible tariffs, and I was hoping every news organization was going to be talking about this today. I didn't see anybody. I was looking for people throughout the day. Nobody brought it up. It should have been like one of the first things I thought, because again, for some reason, the media does not want to touch anything that talks about Hitler. And I'm like, look, you can't deny it. If you read this article, you will realize you can't deny that the things that Donald Trump is doing is very Hitler-esque. It is not like, oh, it's hyperbole. No, you really have to follow everything he's doing. I don't care if Trump doesn't know what he's doing. The people behind him, Russ Vogt, the people who orchestrated this, they know damn well what they're doing. And I know Trump knows what he's doing too about this because everything he's done from day one has been his Hitler-esque. Coming out and saying, coming down the escalator, talking about, Mexicans are murderer and rapists and all these other negative things. But, some of them I'm sure are good people. And I'm going to expose something even deeper about history about that later when we get back later on near the end of the show. I wrote another speech to give you guys about the history of that, of the way Donald Trump has treated a particular class in this country. And there's a reason behind it. And it's been 9 years, almost 10 years in the making. And the news didn't catch it, and nobody else caught it that I've seen. And it was something that I started piecing together. I've talked about it over the years, but I just have been piecing it together and wrote a actual uh, a speech today that I'm going to give you at the end, near the end, about it. But that should let you know, if you read this article, it's in the Atlantic magazine or news magazine, you'll see that what I'm saying, what I've been saying this entire time about Donald Trump doing a lot of this Hitler stuff, they're talking about the tariffs here. I told you about everything that he's been doing, how you turn a democracy into a dictatorship. It's like he's got a handbook of what Hitler did. I mean, everything verbatim that Donald Trump has been doing since he got in has been a whole part of it. This, in his mind, I truly believe he should have been in and changed the world to a dictatorship in 2020 to 2024, because he had worked this entire time. If you haven't noticed, Donald Trump has did the exact same thing he did in his first presidency that he's doing now. But see, what he's doing now, he's being allowed to do what he wanted to do at the very beginning. The very beginning, Donald Trump wanted to throw Latin people in cages. He did everything he could to hate on Latin people. And then he threw them in cages with their babies and everything. And then they did hateful shit to the babies and the mothers and the fathers. They took the babies and they shipped them off without even finding out where the moms and dads, who they are. Not knowing whether these kids are still alive. They were taken somewhere and unalived. We have no idea what happened to those children. There are over 1,500 that still haven't been found. You're telling me if you had taken my child, you wouldn't, I'd burn this bitch down. I'm going to tell you straight up. I'd burn this bitch down. It would be nobody safe taking my child away from me. And I think just about every mother and father will be saying the same thing. But for some reason, this man knew as soon as I devalue Latin people in this country, people were just like, whatever. They're discardable. And what happened? They discarded of babies. And American citizens were like pissed off for a minute. Many of us were. A lot of us was like, so what? That gave him access to know America will allow me to do that. And that's what he did the first time. And now the second time, he's doing the exact same thing. He's just not using babies. He's using 14-year-old and older Latin men. He devalued Latin people way back in 2015 and has been steady on this. Latin people are no good. Latin people are no good. Latin people are no good. They're criminals. They're rapists. And what has he been doing? A steady drumbeat of the very few of the Latin culture. No matter where they're from, these people think of Latin bad. They have been this entire time the steady drumbeat of hate Latin people, hate Latin people, hate Latin people, right? And as they do that, the American people, many have become desensitized and think that the Latin people are the only immigrants in the fucking world. You haven't seen them lock up one white gang from Canada, from France, from nowhere. Nobody in this country is a part of a white gang. They've only been going after Latin people. Why? The steady drumbeat of saying Latin people are no good. You will allow it. Let them go after a white gang. You guys won't allow it because he hasn't demonized white people. He's only been demonizing Latin and people of color and trans people. He's been demonizing the hell out of them. So if they're going to get the Latin people out of here, once they figure out they got them, who do you think they're going after next? Everybody they've demonized. The next core groups that they demonize are people who are trans. They're going to go after trans people too. They're coming after your kids. You can't let them use the bathroom. They're deviants. They're this, they're that. You've already been programmed to dislike them. So when he decides to do harm to them, a lot of you people, not in my room, but people who may be listening, who have this in their spirit, won't say a fucking thing. Because he's already been demonizing them for years. So much so that they're trying to take anything that has to deal with LGBTQIA out of schools, so that nobody knows about y'all, so that nobody cares about y'all. This man is evil. And this man has gotten a lot of people, millions of people behind him who don't even think that this man is evil because their hearts believe he's a good person and he's getting rid of the trash that they don't like. I don't believe they're trash. I said that because that's the way they're treating them, discarding them like you just throw something in a trash can. And every American should be catching them and bringing them back. Like, wait a minute, what the fuck you do? You can't just throw them away. You got to go through a process, bro. That's how this country works. But we aren't fighting for that. We aren't protecting them. We're allowing it to happen. And that's because he's been programming white people, black people, Latin people, Asian people to hate others. And those who are Trumpers are happy to do so. And those of us who have family members who are in that fucking cult sit back and do nothing. So when we sit back and do nothing and they're adamant about doing something to harm these people, we're a part of that gang. We're just a silent part of that gang. If we don't stand up, if we don't say something to them, if we don't have a platform and say something like, you guys, fuck you. These people should not be treated like that, period. It's not fair. It's not right. And that's what we should be doing. Every day, we should be saying that. The news media should be saying that. Quit validating this shit by saying, oh, you know what? No, it's wrong. None of these people, 75% of them, 60 Minutes finds out, don't have a police record. Like some 3 to 5% or some shit like that. They can't find out they have a record or not. It's like 22% of them have done, have some kind of record. But again, those 22%, those are the ones that you should be taken through the process. The other ones should be let go. They have no record. End of story. They have no record. They haven't done anything wrong. They made it to the point where the Americans who have problems with these immigrants, they made you get mad at them because they're taking your jobs. You know that's bullshit. None of you guys are picking fucking oranges or selling them on the fucking street. None of you guys are going out here working. Some of these people are working in factories, okay? Some of them have good jobs in unions. At least one of them I know for sure. They're not the people you think they are or the people they've painted them out to be. But what he's desensitized to you is that no matter what, as long as they got that color of skin, as long as they claim being Latin, as long as they got tattoos, you know how many white people got tattoos? Yet they aren't putting them all in cages trying to say, you know what, you joined the KKK and that's a gang. And even the FBI said years ago that the biggest threat in America is white nationalists and the KKK. Have we gathered their asses up and put them in cages just yet? They were the biggest threat until they had to make Latin people the biggest threat. I'm sorry, but there are more people who have been harmed by the KKK and white nationalist groups than any Latin group that's ever came to America. So why aren't we going after these white men in the KKK and white nationalists? They've harmed more people, and they think it's okay for them to do so because nobody counters them. Nobody goes out and arrests them for being racist and being a part of the biggest gang that's lasted the longest time in American history. They're older than the mob. They are organized for hundreds of fucking years, and they're still here. That means they've done dirt and continue to do so. The reason why we have sundown towns in this country is because they still exist, and there are areas within this country like a gang, territories in which they are the biggest gang for people who are of color to be at night. You know these towns are here The FBI knows, CIA knows. Why aren't they gathering them up and arresting them? Why don't they have a sting of black undercover FBI people going into these towns at night and finding out who are the bad people in this country that are white and arresting their asses for trying to do strange things to people of color? They're a terrorist group, haven't been called one yet. But they've been terrorizing everybody but white people their entire fucking lives in this country since day one. No laws for them. They haven't been kicked out of the country. They aren't en masse being arrested for the bad things they've done. It's just been free. So if you really care about the law, then you should be gathering up the KKK tomorrow. You should be gathering up people who live in sundown towns that are proud about that and will say it when it gets dark. You should be arresting them and throwing them in cages and kicking them out the country, if that's the way you like to do things. So if you really cared about this shit, that's what you would be doing. But you don't. You don't. And I'm going to prove it at the end. I'm going to prove it at the end. Now, today we had, we saw Tesla drop. Not the stock. The stock actually went up. But they came out with an earnings report, and it was horrible. Of course it was going to be. It's like 71% down or something like that from net profits. Car sales are down. Of course. I mean, America rose up and said, to hell with this. Well, we ain't going to sit around and allow, stuff like this to continue to happen. But I don't want you to just take my word for it. I'll let you see some of the stuff that went down. It says Tesla's profits plunge as Musk promises he's ready to step away from his role at Doge. Now, that's the reason many stock people have said throughout the day. The reason why they believe the stock kind of bounced up today and closed at about 2% on the in the plus 2%. It's like 2.5 or more in the Dow, S&P 500, and NASDAQ because of people. His stock went up because of him saying that he was going to get out of Doge. That's why his stock was going up. And also Scott Bessent saying that, hey, we can't deal with these China tariffs. We got to come to some agreement. Now, Tesla did his thing, and hopefully he leaves. But I hope you understand, ain't nobody buying this shit no more. I mean, the ones who decided to go are gone. It's not. Here's the thing that billionaires don't realize is that America's tired of y'all. We're tired of you. You know what I mean? If you show your ass, we're ready to kick it. We ain't into kissing it no more. We ain't trying to come back to brands that show their ass to us. We're trying to kick y'all out. We want to see y'all broke. We don't give two shits about y'all. We're not going to buy your vehicle. I don't care if you rebrand that bitch and make it a something that can drive somewhere in 2 seconds. If it evaporates and ends up on the moon, I don't give a damn. We ain't buying that shit ever, ever, ever again. So yes, please get out of Doge, but we ain't buying Tesla. Fuck with Tesla. You showed your ass and now we know. We know exactly who you are. Why would I want to support that? Now, if you sold your stock to somebody who was a good person, then maybe. But for you, long as that fool owns something, I ain't fucking with it. I'm done with Twitter, X. I won't buy a Tesla. None of that. Anything this man got his hand in, I ain't buying. You do what you want to do. I'm just saying I'm not. Because he already showed me what he cares about. All he cares about is money and power. And making other people feel bad. Destroying their lives so he can get a tax cut. If I had my say, he wouldn't be getting any more money from the government, our tax dollars, to do anything space-wise, anything that building Teslas that are armored. We don't give a fuck about a Tesla armored vehicle. Take that shit some other country. We don't care. Especially after seeing, I don't know if y'all seen it. This is, I mean, we don't have, because we have the thing with China. If I was China, I would literally be like, yo, let's work this deal. Okay, you want to do the tariff thing? We'll do the tariff thing. That's okay. Okay, cool. We can sell out vehicles in America. I'm waiting for that. I'm like, really? Oh, shit. Because because China has a automated car or vehicle like Tesla. It's light years better. light years better. I'd buy that first. I would buy that first before I buy anything from Elon. But I saw it on like one of the social media accounts. It's a black guy who's, I guess he lives over there, and he was showing off this vehicle, and I'm like, wow, I wish that was here because it's light years better than a Tesla, and it looks better to me. It's not a truck though. I don't care about the truck. That's an ugly vehicle to me to begin with. But the point of the matter is, I don't want my tax dollars going to him. If there's some way that I could even protest that, I would. I would. And I would hope America would do the same thing. But Tesla, their stock dropped. And I'm happier for it. I'm happier for it. I'm sorry if you got Tesla stock. It is what it is. Well, his stock actually went up a little bit because he said he's coming back. I'll see how that worked. But they lost a lot of money in sales. Their sales and their net profits were down 71.72% or something like that. Somewhere around there. I might be dyslexic. It might be 71.27. But anyway, those are the things that happen within, the money and business markets today. I know you guys probably got a chance to see Pete Hegseth today. If you didn't, I got a little piece of his interview that he had. But before I do that, this nut job, we all know the app that he was using, Signal Chat. I call it Signal Gate, that he was using. And before, it was one of the other guys who got an Atlantic writer on his phone, on his Signal Chat, and he was privy to their conversation. And so Trip is that this guy, Pete Hegseth, kind of threw that guy under the bus. He literally said, "Oh, well, I don't have anything to do with that. That's him." I'm saying it was on his phone. I didn't put that on there. I had nothing to do with it. All of them really kind of backed up and just left that dude. It was him. That same conversation, this man, Pete Hegseth, this guy is Secretary of Defense, I believe. This guy gives the information to his wife, his brother-in-law, I believe, and his personal lawyer. Sends it to them on his personal Signal Chat. So he dumps this information from a secret source, a confidential source, the government source in which he's supposed to be getting this information from. A general sends it to him, exactly what he's about to do, on a secure line, and it is secret. It is classified. Now, I found out today from a military guy that said, and it was online, and also I think on the news, I got it from a source, I think MSNBC. But the reality is this. What Pete Hegseth is saying about it wasn't classified information, this is what happens. And I didn't know this until today. To me, it's classified information because I'm like, dude, we should know what weapons and whom you're trying to unalive and what times and all this shit like that. If I know in enough time, which we found out later, but if it was leaked like the day of, they would have got it. But and the thing that's so tripped about it is, had this reporter just put it out that day, if he had been a green reporter and put it out, say, look what I found, just told somebody, the world would have known before because he got known like an hour or so before. The world might have known if it had gotten out there before these people and put those American soldiers in harm's way, right? But that didn't happen, thank God. But they threw this other guy under the bus saying it was him, wasn't me. It was him, wasn't me. Things of that nature. This fool took it from a general in a secured site. When it's secure like that, that is classified. That information was classified. You know what made it not classified? Him sharing it. Him sharing it made it not classified because it's no longer classified. You gave that information out. That doesn't mean he didn't give out classified information. It means he gave out classified information, and upon doing so, that information is no longer classified. So he broke the law by doing it. But by doing it, He made it like out in the open. Same shit that Donald Trump did when he was a president. He went into the first time he was a president, he went into office with a bunch of Putin aides and gave them classified information from our military, our government, trying to be cool with these Russian people. Come here, look what I got. Look what I got. Same shit Pete Hegseth doing. Look, ladies, look, family, I got information about the war stuff. Look. The fuck is your problem? How green can you be? Who are you trying to impress? You are there to protect us, not to go around trying to get some kind of like I am a good person. Look at me. Look what I got. Look what I got. You're a fucking child. Who does that shit? I don't know of any human being that has ever been in the military that has given up secrets as easy as these people have. I mean, why do you need spies when you got dumbasses running the country? We don't need spies. Every country, call off y'all spies. Don't even worry about it. We got a bunch of dipshits that's going to tell you everything. Just tap their phones and it's on. I mean, why work hard? Bring them all back home. You got freaking enemies amongst us doing it for you. Pete Hegseth is like a super spy for the world. Talk about being American. How can you be a patriot when you're giving out information that can harm our military to everybody and their mama? He took it off a private line, classified line, which they're supposed to communicate. Let that general who handed him that information have sent his wife this information. He'd be in Leavenworth by sundown. These neophytes need to get out. This is not a game. This is American lives. This is America's safety. How do you think we're safe as American citizens with someone like this running things? I wouldn't let this man run a taco stand. I wouldn't trust that the tacos would have the right meat in them or that the money would be able to make it. And if we sold liquor, I wouldn't trust this fool around any liquor bottle. This man is horrific. There's no way on God's green earth he should be here. This is mediocre white privilege at its best. This is a mediocre white man in a position of somebody who should have the merit, no matter what race he is. But you would never find a mediocre black person in his position. You would never find a mediocre Latin person in his position. You would never find a mediocre woman of any race in his position. You have this dude ain't even subpar. He's horrific. And if you don't believe it, how does this man get into position of being the head of our military, being this stupid? Be honest with yourself. Nobody of any other race would be in that position like he is and still holding on to it after so much like fucking up royally. And still, oh, he's still a good guy. I like him. America, y'all need to wake up. This is not a game. Fuck all that white nationalist supreme shit. Countries will fuck us up. They don't give two shits about y'all being white supreme. I don't give a fuck what you're talking about. We don't have to get messed up with weapons. We can get messed up with other aspects. Other countries deciding not to work with us could mess us up. America is a great country. But we have 300-something million. There are billions of people on this earth. And that axis can shift if America keeps fucking up. Every country can get it, even us. Get off your high horse and start working for the country and keeping it in power like it's been. The majority of us want a country that works right for all people. No matter whether you're American or any other, I want a world rather. No matter whether you're American or any other country, we just want everything to be on the right axis. We'll protect what we have to protect. but let's just do business. Let's leave the war shit behind and focus on building a country. We know that we're going to protect ourselves. Every country knows they're going to protect themselves. That shit is just norm. But growing past the shit that we've been going through, the biggest thing in this country that gets me is listening to, some of the financial people. America would be an even greater country if we just paid off our debts. We're out here gathering debt from everybody. Can you give me some money? Can you give me some money? Can you give me some money? Here's the thing that kills me about America, y'all. You know how in this country, people who have money, and when people who don't have money, like the poor or middle class, need some kind of help or whatever it may be, these rich people say, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Do you understand America itself needs to pull itself up by its bootstraps? We owe trillions of dollars. And we keep spending way more than we make. We're bringing in $4 trillion and spending $6 trillion on a regular basis, y'all. We're always in debt every year, $2 trillion or more. The fuck? How can you sustain that? I remember when I grew up, it was a situation where we said we want to leave our kids with a better world. At some point in time, politicians said, fuck that. Let's make it rain up in this bitch. Let's have fun. You want to buy some stock? You want to buy some bonds? Okay, cool. We ain't gonna never pay it back. Don't worry about it. Since when did we become the country that doesn't pay its bills and just pays the interest? Who does that shit? America. That's why China owns us. That's why Japan owns us. They own our debt, y'all. We keep borrowing from them. Think about it. Who's the most powerful? The bank or the person loaning from the bank? Or borrowing from the bank? It's the bank, right? If all the other countries we owe money to, that means they have the power. We don't. The only power we got is what? Military. We keep saying we the richest in the world. We're so rich. Why the hell are we borrowing money from people? Because rich people aren't paying their fair share. Oh, that's why. So the rich people aren't paying their fair share, and the average American is having to pay higher and higher taxes and barely getting by. And rich people own both ends of the spectrum. They own the politicians that they don't want them to give them tax, so they don't have to pay more taxes. And then at the same time, they spend so many hundreds of millions of dollars a year to elect people to leave them alone and tax the shit out of us. And they get in saying they like us and they're for you. And they keep giving them tax cuts when we owe all this damn money. How you keep taking money out of the bank and giving it to the people and then borrow money because you can't pay? Pay your fucking bills first. If I'm going to get taxed, I want you to pay the bills off. I don't want you to give me $300 back. Fuck that. Pay the bills. Put the lights on. Put us back in power. Quit taking. Make these rich people pay their fucking fair share and pay our fucking debt so our great-great-grandkids aren't stuck with $400 trillion worth of fucking debt because these greedy bastards want to keep on doing what they do. This is no way to run a home, let alone a country. It's insane. This is. So this is this fool trying to explain away Pete Hegseth, what he did. And we're going to break some of it down, but I'm going to go ahead and get it in. Let's go ahead and see what he had to say.
Thoughts on what's been reporting of Team Huddle and the Signal chat that the New York Times says took place between you, your wife, and your brother, and some others?
So, Brian, if you remember when this all started, the first go-around, because this is the second go-around, right? They peddle old stuff, they kick it back up. I said repeatedly, No one's texting war plans. You know why I said that? Because I'm in the bowels of the Pentagon every single day. Just 10 minutes ago, I was looking at actual war plans of things that were ongoing or pending things to happen. Because that's on a regular basis on classified systems. That's my job for the war fighters, for the President of the United States. I look at war plans every single day.
What the fuck does that got to do with anything? He didn't ask you that question. We know you look at war plans. We're talking about the ones that you put out on the street, you dipshit. I mean, this is killing me. I mean, these people answer a fucking question already. Take responsibilities for your actions and move forward. But these people just lie incessantly. Just politicians, period. Never answer the fucking question. If you get a question and you don't want to answer it, just don't answer it. Say, you know what? I don't want to answer it. I don't want to hear this fluff bullshit after that damn question. I don't need to hear all that. What was the question? Oh, I pass. I'd rather that than you to talk all this around the block and shit between the trees. What the fuck are you talking about? How do people watch this and be like, okay, I'm listening to this. Where's the answer? No answer? If I'm a reporter, I'd be like, look here, hold up, back up, hold up, Pete. I didn't ask that. Now get back to the question at hand. If you can't answer it, just say you're going to pass. But this shit you doing, it ain't got shit to do with the question. None whatsoever. You're talking about other shit in which you get plans. We already done figured out that you gave away information that should not have been given. Because if it wasn't classified information, then why did the general send it to you on a classified line and then your ass gave it away as if it wasn't classified? Because you're a dipshit. 100%. And this idiot that's interviewing him on Fox, another thing, these people go to their home. He came from Fox to get these bullshit ass interviews that are just opportunities for you to clear shit up as opposed to tell the fucking truth. These bullshit ass questions he does ask, he doesn't back them up by asking, like, wait a minute, you didn't answer that. Let's ask this. You didn't answer that. Let's answer this. No, he lets it go on, move on. Republican, Democrats alike, as far as like news, they do that shit all the time. Like I said, if I ever get one of these fools in an interview, I'm getting a straight answer. I ain't moving on to the next question. If I ask you a question, you don't answer it, I'm like, bye. I don't need it. I really don't. The American people don't need you to sit here and gaslight them. End the conversation. I don't need you on the show to lie to my people. Point blank, period. American people don't need a lie. The minute you lie or obfuscate, I'm going to embarrass the shit out of you. And then I'm going to go to the next story. Turn your mic off while you're talking. Fuck him. He ain't want to tell the truth. Let's keep it moving. Because we're going to have facts. We don't want to hear all this fluff shit. This, I'm going to explain it away. No, you can't explain away your fuck up unless you say, yo, I fucked up. I shouldn't have did that. Now, we won't hear that. Now, why'd you do it? If you can't say that, shut the fuck up. Move on. Go talk to some other idiots, but we're not going to be the ones.
What was shared over Signal, then and now, however you characterize it, was informal, unclassified coordinations for...
He said then and now, however you classify it. He said earlier that he didn't do it. Not in this interview, earlier throughout the day at the Easter egg hunt at the White House. He said that was not even true. It was just made up. And you guys, he started making fun of the reporters in front of him. They always do this. Whenever they can't answer a question, they go after the media. Here's the point about media. Let me talk to y'all real quick, mainstream media. Grow a pair. When he goes after you, go after his ass right back. If he said that shit to me and said, oh yeah, you guys are terrible, I said, are you drinking? I smell brandy. Are you drinking? Think you're going to talk shit about me in front of me and then act like I'm not going to give it back to you? Grow a pair, media. Grow a pair. Give a fuck about being close to them. I'm going to embarrass the shit out of him because he's not going to sit there and just tell me I'm lying when he's straight up lying.
Media coordination and other things. That's what I've said from the beginning. At the beginning, it was left-wing reporters from The Atlantic who got a hold of it and then wanted to...
Got a hold of it? No. See, here's the thing. As a reporter said, he didn't get hold of it, Pete. Your guy sent it to him. How can he get a hold of something that he has no access to? We know how Signal works. You have to be invited into this meeting, or he was in the meeting and invited somebody else. How did he get in? Not going to sit here and let you lie to the American people. It just ain't going to happen. See, this is what you got to understand. These media organizations don't give a fuck about the American citizen if they allow them to be lied to. Otherwise, what the hell do you got this show on for? This show is supposed to inform people about factual shit so that they know how safe they are or how unsafe they are, what's going on in their communities. That's what news is supposed to be about. But if you allow people to come on and lie to the people, how safe are the people? How educated are the people? How much do they really know when you allow somebody to twist the truth? If the news is not the arbiter of fact, meaning like if the person says something and you are calling yourself news, then your ass should be the one with the facts for the people. You work for the people in the media, not the billionaires, but it's changed. You give no shits about the people. It's the billionaires. You are talking to an audience of fucking one or few, meaning like the 1%ers. They already know that it's a lie. So why are you telling the rest of America this fluff shit? America needs to wake up. This shit right here, what he's saying, there's no truth to it. It's already been debunked what he's saying. And they are doing investigations still, supposedly. It's just insane.
Create a problem for the president. This is what it's all about, trying to get at President Trump and his agenda. Now, here at the Defense Department, because, Brian, I want this to be very clear. We take the classification of information very important.
Very important. What the fuck was that? Very seriously, you dipshit. You're probably drunk. Listen to this fool. Very important. What the fuck is this? You're young. You don't have Tourette's.
Information, very important. It's very significant to us that we safeguard it. And so when we had leaks, which we have had here, we did a serious leak investigation. And through that leak investigation, unfortunately, we found some folks that we believe were not holding to the protocols that we hold dear here at the Defense Department. Through that investigation, they have been moved on, and that investigation continues. As a result of that, everything we do here is above board, trying to make sure that we safeguard information. In this point, those folks who were leaking, who have been pushed out of the building, are now attempting to leak and sabotage the president's agenda. And
this man is literally gaslighting the fuck out of America. Not me, but he's trying his damnedest. He's making it seem like he has a problem with leakers, when the problem is this fool leaked classified information to his wife, his personal lawyer, and his brother-in-law, whom all of them do not have clearance to receive said information. That is called a leak, sir. You're the leaker talking about we had to get rid of leakers. And he's getting rid of leakers that literally said, look, this dude is leaking. Those people you talk about aren't leakers. They're whistleblowers. And American government is supposed to be protecting them under our whistleblower laws. But instead, you're turning the whistleblowers into the leaker when Pete Hegseth is actually the leaker. You can't see it no other way, but somehow these fools paint. And again, this is the reporter's job. You're supposed to be there getting information for the people. If you're not going to do it, why the fuck you there? He is the leaker. Government information sent via a general prior to an actual attack on the Houthis, right? Given directly to this idiot. That information from that general, he thought that Pete Hegseth, being his boss, would keep it fucking classified. And instead, as soon as he got it, like a petulant little child, he gets on this Signal chat and tells a shit ton of people. One of which turns out to be a writer at Atlantic. Nobody went and said, hey, a check. Who is AG? Who is RM? Is that you, Rubio? Is that you, Marco Rubio? Yeah, that's me. No, nobody did that shit. They disclose classified information on Signal. Once it's disclosed on Signal, it becomes not classified anymore. But it is classified information that should not have gotten out. Once the reporter realized this was not a prank, if this was real, he got out of the conversation. He could have stayed in and heard the whole thing. But that reporter had the wherewithal to say, oh shit, this is a real fucking war thing they're doing. They actually bombed at the same time. Oh shit, and he got out, which meant he was in multiple conversations with these people on that line. They kept putting him into this damn chat line. And here it is. He knew, he reported on it, and they're pissed off at him. But the leaker, the reporter, would have never got the information had Pete Hegseth not leaked. The leaker is him. He's calling the people who are whistleblowers and saying, hey, America, this idiot is giving away secret classified information to everybody and their mama. We're not safe. That's a whistleblower. That's a person who gives a fuck about America. This dipshit gives a fuck about the bottom of a liquor bottle. Everybody else doesn't matter. There is no way that this man is smart. There's no way. I have never been in the military, and I know damn well if I get information about what weapons are going to be coming to unalive somebody, I know damn well as a neophyte not to share that with anybody. Nobody. Just think if he's on a trip somewhere in another country and they decide, you know what, this dude tells everything. Let's just invite him out to dinner. Throw a couple drinks in him. Have him drunk as hell. This dude will tell every damn secret in the freaking world. Oh, yeah, we bombing them tomorrow. Yeah, Can I get another bottle? Okay. What? Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, we're going to take him out, too. That's going to be on October 15th at 7 o'clock. What y'all using? Oh, we're going to use that F-15 or what? New one. Some other one we got built. You think he wouldn't? He's already doing it. And he's doing it not drunk. Let him get drunk in another country. It's a wrap. Ain't shit that's secret in America. He got to go. This man is worse than Putin being in that position. He can't hold a secret, y'all. How you going to tell your wife who ain't classified? Remember, it was a Democrat. I forgot his name, but he's like a really... He's been really good, but the thing is, he was dating a spy. Didn't even know she was a spy. This fool could be married to one. He's telling everybody in his family. Now, why would you even think? Think about this for a hot second. Knowing this information makes you not safe, makes me not safe. What I wouldn't tell my wife or anybody I loved information that's in the government, because her knowing could be her life. Could mean her life. This shit is not a game. This ain't no fucking like a video game you're playing. This is life and death. People are unalived every day for what they know. We have spies in other countries that their lives are at stake. When we say stuff that we know, telling everybody when they was going to attack people meant that there were spies that knew exactly where that person was. And by knowing that, there are countries that gave us that information that no longer trust us. This shit is bigger than just what's going on in the White House. This is the entire world we're dealing with. In order to know what that is, what actually happened and what they're doing, they're getting information from the inside and from other countries. And the way this world works is not like people are like this dumbass. If you want to know who's doing what, you give individual people different information. You tell this person what's going to happen. You tell this person what's going to happen. If it's ever found out, you know it came from that person. Therefore, them knowing exactly where these people were, the Houthis, these people know who is the whistleblower for them, who's the spy. And if that's an American, they're probably already dead. You just never know it. This dude's an idiot, and America's not safe. He needs to go. The Eagle, glad it's on our side. Yeah, Ninja Chat. I remember they said something about they paid $2 trillion for something. I couldn't tell if it was they building a new F-15 because I think they retired the other one or something like that. Don't take my word for the exact thing. I just remember hearing about one of them they built. One of the military fighter airplanes or whatever they built cost $2 trillion and they never used it. I know it wasn't an F-15 but something else, but they never used it. And then scrapped it. $2 trillion they spent building them. It's crazy. But this fool.
What we're doing. And that's unfortunate. It's not what I do. It's not how we operate. And so you've got another allegation being pushed again, not based on how we're operating around here. We're for the warfighters. We're for the president. And none of this is based in reality.
He just said none of it is based in reality. But he said earlier on that it was something that was this one and the one we just did. Like he just admitted that these things were released. But now it's not based in reality. In the conversation, he contradicts himself. And this dude here interviewing him on Fox just lets it fly.
So, Mr. Secretary, I guess I can conclude this. We know some bizarre situation with Michael Waltz happened with the first time the whole thing with the Signal app came out.
Michael Waltz, that's the one he threw under the bus and said, it wasn't me that put him on the line. That was Michael Waltz. And then all of a sudden now it's him that did it. He's obfuscating.
Believe this came out. They said it was called Team Huddle because one of the people who work for you, one of the three who no longer are there, leaked this out as a way to get back at you?
That's right, Brian. When you dismiss people who you believe are leaking classified information, and again, the investigation is ongoing and that will take time.
He's talking about that he believes that the people around him, the way people know about this, supposed to, like I said, they're whistleblowers. They're not leakers. The reason why they know about this is that people that was around him, he said he's doing an investigation. The investigation hasn't gone through, so you wouldn't know whether it was them or not until the investigation is over. He's already fired them because he believes they're the ones who did it. And therefore, this guy is asking him, the reporter is asking him, you basically haven't finished the investigation. So how do you know? He's like, well, he goes on and on. Well, we're going to do the investigation, but we let him go. But then, if it comes out that they didn't do it, they're just gone. But it makes no sense, y'all. This man is trying his best to back out of his fuck up. He would be gone if he was any other race. Trust and believe.
And when the evidence produced it will go to DOJ, why would it surprise anybody, Brian, if those very same people keep leaking to the very same reporters whatever information they think they can have to try to sabotage the agenda of the president or the secretary? So once a leaker, always a leaker, often a leaker. And so we looked for leakers because we take it very seriously. And we will do the investigation. Right. And if those people are exonerated, fantastic.
So
if those people are exonerated, fantastic. So are you going to bring them back? I mean, this shit makes no sense. If they're exonerated, well, you don't even know they did it yet, but you fired them. And the fact that someone leaks that you actually leak classified information does not make them a leaker. It makes them a whistleblower. And this is their thing. Lie, 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 and lie some more. And then people are always asking us why we don't like Republicans and, listen to what they have to say. Oh, fuck all that. These dudes lie all the time. There's no basis to listen to what they have to say. They don't have anything rooted in fact. I have no problem listening to anybody, independent, Republican, Democrat. If you're going to bring facts to me, I'm ready to listen. What's the fact? What are the facts? And if I don't know, I'm like, oh, thank you for that. But if I know that you're lying to me, I ain't giving you the time of day. Why would I give you the time of day to lie to me? Who likes that shit? Just like I said with brands. The moment I find that you're an untrustworthy brand, I ain't fucking with you no more. Because again, I don't want you to change who you are. I'm thankful that you showed me who you were. Because that lets me know I ain't gonna fuck with you no more. No, you can't just fuck people over and then all of a sudden just come back and say sorry once your stock drops. Once your income starts to fall. No, you said everything you said 10 toes down. You believed in it 100%. You implemented it, and then all of a sudden it backfired on your ass. No, be you. Be that person. And accept the consequences. Maybe the racist, the sexist, the xenophobic people will start buying more from you. Live your truth. But for me, fuck you. I ain't got shit to do with you. I ain't coming back to you. I ain't buying shit from you. Why? Why would I? When we have access to the economy just like you do, I got access to China, Japan, the same products you buy me, I can go buy without a label on it, just as good, sometimes better, for 1/10 of the cost. Why the fuck I'm buying it from you if I can't trust you? What, I gotta wait a little bit longer, pay some tariffs? I'd rather do that than give a dime to somebody who's using that money to fuck with my life and good people's lives. I'm done. I don't want nothing from you. Keep it. You can go sell to the people who are simps and like your shit. I don't care about nobody's brand if it ain't helping people. If you ain't doing nothing good for nobody but yourself, I don't want your brand. That's me. I stand 10 toes down on that. Now, do I know what every brand is doing? No. Do I have to start doing my homework on that? Hell yeah. But as I find out, I X out. Simple as that. So this mediocre dude got an opportunity to do something that he should never have been in a position for. It's crazy. So I told y'all at the end, I had a story I wanted to tell you, or I wrote something for y'all, a speech. But first, I want to talk to this is all about earlier when I mentioned there is a plan. There's been a strategy since day one with Donald Trump. There's always been. And it goes back into like the recesses of history and ask yourself why certain things happen. Now, what I'm going to discuss now is my Latin brothers and sisters out there. You see what they're doing to people who look like you, right? They don't care where you come from. As long as you're Latin, you're on that spectrum of being treated unfairly. Why? They've been demonizing you guys since 2015, 10 years ago. They've been demonizing the hell out of you. And many of you voted for them to demonize you. And many of you have asked, why aren't people of color, especially black people, helping you out? Some are, most aren't. Because once again, we know history and we understand you not only betrayed your own people, you betrayed everybody else. It's not just your fault. I'm just talking about you chose, not all of you, the ones who chose to vote for that. That's the reason why you're in the situation that you're in. None of us wants that for your people of any particular, wherever you come from, whatever Latin country you come from. We don't want it for you, 100%. And we're sitting here literally saying it out loud. Whether you appreciate it or not, that's not my job. My job isn't to get an accolade from you. I speak the truth 100%. What they're doing to your people are wrong, even if some of you guys won't admit it because you're so wanting to get close to white proximity that you're willing to throw your entire culture under the bus just so that you can feel like they give a fuck about you. They do not. Just because they allowed you to put down white on the census and gave you opportunities to get loans and shit like that with the label white, that borrowed power is just that. Borrowed. And they're reneging on that borrow. And I'm going to tell you, I wrote this down because I wanted you to understand that in history, there was a time that they did not like you at all, Latin people. And then it was a situation when they said that, okay, it's a culture, not a race, so to speak. So you could always kind of like say, oh, I'm white. But there was a huge vote grab from the Republicans. See, all the time you hear what Republicans say about that the Democrat Party, and this is true to some degree, Democrat Party is going after like the immigrants and going after different other people because they want you to vote for them. You see how the Republicans, they're really telling on themselves. It came about for you to be able to call yourself white and get close to whiteness, light-skinned Latin people, because the Republican Party needed more people because their numbers were dwindling. And therefore, they allowed you to become close to whiteness. They let you put that down on your census so that white people can become more powerful in this country. See, the numbers have been dwindling for white people for a long, long time. You can go look it up. This is factual shit. They allowed you to start putting white on the census. Not necessarily allowed. They invited you to. So that their numbers would grow. You're not the only culture they allowed to do that. At one point in time, the Italians were the same way. Italians were thought of pretty much like black people in this country until their numbers started dwindling. And they said, come on, these people, come on, Irish people, Italian people, they're the Irish too. Italian people, come on to the white side. And each time, each culture sold out their people to call themselves white. To this day, Italian people literally think they're white. They put down white. But all it takes is for those white people to feel like the Italian people are outgrowing the white nationalist people, and you too will get knocked off that list of being called white. It's historic. I'm not making this shit up. This is how this country has been running forever. I told you before, the reason why they've been coming after you guys, Latin people, is because the numbers for white Americans and these white nationalists has been dwindling for years. It was estimated somewhere in the 2040s or something like that, 2040 something, that Latin people would surpass white people as the majority of people in America. You think those racist ass white people who've been counting the numbers and shit are going to allow that? No. That's why they're not just exporting you back to your country. That's why they're sending you to prison. So therefore, you ain't having no babies. Those men aren't getting any more children. They're in prison for life with other men. There's no babies to be had. That's how you control a population. This isn't about you guys being immigrants. This is about white supremacy, controlling the population of the culture that would surpass them in this country by 2040. Go look it up. You'll see. Any culture that encroaches upon white supremacy as far as numbers, because that's what they equate power, numbers. That culture, I told you guys when Kamala Harris was running, I said people who are racist in this country and these people who are siding with Donald Trump, they got another thing coming if they think black people are going to go back to slavery. It ain't going to happen. We die first. I told Latin people at the time, this was last year sometime, I told you guys that the next race that's going to become enslaved in this country will be Latin. Why? Because your numbers are surpassing white. That's their true fear. They ain't worried about you killing nobody. They kill more than anybody. They know this. They get away with it all the time. They kill, rape. Anybody with a fucking brain sees that. I'm here to tell you the truth, whether you like it or not. If it's hurting your heart and I don't care about that. Facts are facts. Go look them up. So I wrote this to let you know, we got love for all people. That be black people, good white people. We got love for people, good Latin people, all that. We got it. But I'm trying to help people understand this is not just contained to Latin people. Latin people are the ones who are in the midst of the hell right now. What I want you to do is take a bird's eye view of what's happening to Latin people and understand that you're not a white wasp, what they believe, that you're white nationalist. This too will happen to you because you're not a part of white culture. You're invited to call yourself white. Learn your history or it will repeat. Italian people, Irish people, you guys aren't considered white. Not originally. Remember, whiteness was created as a power structure to separate itself from people of color. That's not a real thing. It was created as a structure. A lot of people got caught up into believing that their skin is actually white. That ain't it. It's a power structure. So I want to read this to you. And this one I call I call this speech Paper Whiteness and Real Betrayal. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, truth seekers and storytellers, I want to take you on a journey through the quiet lies we were told and the loud truths we're now forced to confront. A journey that doesn't start at the border, but in the boxes we were told to check. Because when you look at America through the lens of identity, race, and power, you quickly realize we've all been living in a house built on a ledger, not on love. Let's talk about Latin Americans. Or more accurately, let's talk about the story America told about them and how that story shifted the moment their numbers became too loud to ignore. You see, on the U.S. Census, Hispanic or Latino is considered an ethnicity, not a race. That means someone who's Puerto Rican, Cuban, Mexican, or Dominican can still check white as their racial identity. And for decades, many were encouraged, for political reasons, or coerced to do exactly that. Why? Because whiteness in America isn't just a skin tone. It's a category of power. It's shifting, breathing, self-preserving identity that has always expanded just enough to survive a demographic collapse. It absorbed the Irish. It swallowed the Italians. It even flirted with Latinos, so long as they didn't challenge the status quo. And for a time, America wanted Latinos to check white because it padded the stats. It helped maintain the illusion that the white population was holding steady. It was a political move, a demographic sleight of hand, a census magic trick that made whiteness look stronger than it was. But now the numbers are too real. The Latino population is growing fast. And with growth comes visibility. With visibility comes power. And with power comes fear from those who've had a monopoly on this power for far too long. So what happened next? They turned on them. You see what they're doing to Venezuelans? They're not going to stop there. All Latin people are not safe. I don't care if you're light-skinned, dark-skinned, you're not safe. They're going after the light-skinned ones, y'all. I'm going to tell you, dark-skinned Latin people, y'all know what I'm talking about. They've always treated y'all like crap. You see light-skinned Latinos being treated like trash. What do you think they think about you? They turned on the very people they once tried to absorb. The same way America once invited black men to fight in wars, only to lynch them in the peace that followed. The same way it broke every treaty with Native people after smiling in their faces. And now, Latinos, many of whom were told they could claim white, are being treated like enemies of the state, vilified, raided, targeted, because in the minds of white nationalists, they're not white anymore. They're too many, too visible, too loud, too brown. And in their minds, you're too powerful because the numbers. That's betrayal. The rug pulled out after you were told to stand on it. They betrayed you, and they're going to continue betraying you. Sad part is they're going to continue to ask you for your vote. Even more sad, you're going to give it to them because the proximity to whiteness is more important than your real love for you and your people. For some of you, others, they never got swayed. Now here's the twist. When we look at voting patterns, particularly among lighter-skinned Latinos, we see something interesting and deeply painful. In 2020, some of those very people voted for Donald Trump, the same man who painted them as drug dealers, criminals, rapists, bad hombres. That was his words, not mine. They voted against Kamala Harris, whose face represents the shifting racial tides of American power. Now, we may never know each person's reasoning for voting the way they voted. We can't see into every heart. But history begs us to ask the question. Could it be that the invitation to whiteness, how fragile, how temporary, still had power? Could it be that for some, voting Republican felt like an attempt to stay inside the circle of acceptance, to grasp the crumbling illusion of belonging? We've seen this before. It's the old American whisper. Distance yourself from the darker ones, and maybe you'll be accepted. But history has a way of catching up to this illusion. And this time it's screaming, even the pale can be exiled when the numbers rise. This is what happens when power is based not on humanity, but on hierarchy. And so, to my Latino brothers and sisters, especially those with lighter skin, I say this with love and clarity. You are not white because the census says so. You are not safe because a box lets you pretend to be. You are powerful because of your roots, your culture, your people, and your truth. To the rest of us, let this be a lesson. Whiteness in America has never been about inclusion. It's always been about control. And when that control feels threatened, even those who were once honorary members of the club get shown the door. This isn't just about race, it's about reality. If we want a nation where people aren't weaponized by their skin tone, if we want unity that's real and not just paperwork deep, we must destroy the myth of whiteness as supremacy and rebuild our identity around shared struggle, shared freedom, and shared humanity. Because in the end, the census didn't free us. The census can't protect us. But the truth can unite us. The end. That's the end of it. I wrote that for all people, but specifically for the Latinos who are going through the hell that they're going through. Let this be a lesson. What Donald Trump is doing to Latin people, they don't give a damn that they're Venezuelan. They don't care where they came from. There's too many of them. And they decided to take the men. Again, when they took y'all last time, they took women and babies and men. You never heard about the men being locked up because the world didn't really care. The conversation was about the wives and the babies. You didn't hear about dad. It was the wife and the babies. What Donald Trump does, He does test things. He tests things out to see how the world actually reacts. Because we did not give a fuck about the dads who were locked up, who came over here, and all we talked about were where are the babies at? Where are the moms at? They don't separate the moms from the babies. That's all the news talked about. They never talked about the dads. What Donald Trump what did they learn? Take the men and people won't give a fuck. Leave the women. They're going to have the babies anyway. They can't have babies without their man. So this time we're going to take the men and see how much they care. They didn't care before. They never mentioned the fathers being locked up. They only mentioned the last time when he was president, the mothers and the babies. Donald Trump and his minions are evil. You can't tell me nothing otherwise. Everything I say, everything I do research on, it pans out. These people hate others. They hate others. They don't even like Italians. They don't even like Irish. None of y'all. As long as you give them numbers, but let the Irish or the Italians outnumber what they consider to be homegrown white people here, and you too will find the fate of the Venezuelans. It's only history. It's not like I'm coming out of my ass with this. It's been done before. And if you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it. And as I expose the history, I want you to dig deep and check if I'm lying to you. And then when you find out that I'm telling the truth, let somebody else know. Don't let this be between me and you. Help this grow. Because as long as America knows what these people have in store, it's harder for them to accomplish it. The more we're in the dark, the easier it is for them to accomplish what they're trying to do. Make no mistake, he's trying to turn this into a dictatorship. Everything has been falling in line that Hitler did. He's doing all the way to the tariffs, all the way to demonizing the media, all of the above. And the only reason the media got demonized successfully is that because he called them demonizing the media, he kept saying that they're fake media, that grew. Everybody was quick to say fake media. And the moment you caught media in lies, it took on, whether you were Democrat, Republican, or independent. Because you would find, if you trusted CNN back in the day before Trump, every time CNN got caught in a lie, we automatically said fake media. Donald Trump was saying it, we started saying it. Americans, period. Fox was sitting there, he would say Fox is good media. So whenever Fox did something good or made a real statement that actually was truthful, people started trusting Fox. And that's how he built his cult. And that's how we helped him build it. Because we didn't know what he was doing. Donald Trump doesn't care that we hate him. He loves that. He just doesn't want the media to do it. Because if they do, his people have an opportunity to believe it. He don't want them to believe or pull down the curtain and realize he's just a bumbling idiot. He's basically the Wizard of Oz. Behind all that is nobody. A wannabe. He's gotten power because everybody wants to be rich, wants to have this life that he has that follows him, that is. And that's what they follow. If Donald Trump was broke, he wouldn't have this power. It's the dream, it's the aspiration of being a white, powerful male. And then you start to realize, I didn't know how many simp men were out there that needed validation so much from a rich dude. I thought there were real men out there that were just independent. Nobody could just shift you from whom you are based on just, being the bully that you wanted to be, or protecting you in a sense of, I believe this, and if Trump believes it, and look the way he talks to people, he's such a just because he can do the dozens a little bit, he's still weak at it, but he can do the dozens a little bit. He's got these weak ass white people and other people of cultures who are weak, thinking that he's strong. It's like, please, anybody that needs to do all that is weak. And any person that's black that's been doing the dozens their entire fucking life, no. If he was in a game of the dozens, you rip his ass to shreds. He's got too many things going wrong with him for us to not tear him down to a tiny little shrub. But he's the president because he got people to believe in lies. And we got to get the people to believing in the truth. So that was for my Latin brothers and sisters, but also for all those who are disenfranchised, for my women out there as well. You're next as well. They're already getting you guys out of powerful positions just because you're a woman. And that was a white woman who got knocked out of the military for what? Just because she was a woman. DEI. Doing Pete Hegseth's job, there is a woman, I know there's a woman that's better than him at that job. But she'll never see the light of day under this regime. Because he won't put that type of woman in front of him like that. You got to be a sycophant. You can't be actually good at the job. You have to be loyal to him. Just like everybody he's got in position, even if they're a woman. Everybody he's hired is not good for the job. None whatsoever. They're just sycophants. It is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. But as always, I'm always digging deep, trying to find out like what is going on. Why are we doing the things that we do, and why are they happening to us so often? Thank you, Five on Fire, for the memberships, and also Troy Scott. I appreciate the membership as well. Five on Fire. I'm gonna look up the email tonight. I did read the caption, I believe, but I didn't go into it because I thought it was kind of long, and I think I moved on to a bunch of other ones that are really small to take care of. But I'll get back to it and look at it and see what's going on. I appreciate you. As far as everybody else, as always, I appreciate you coming, stopping by, doing the thing of learning facts, wanting to be in a situation where the facts matter, and the feelings about them is a different thing, but I want to be able to express the facts, help you understand that truth is like primary for me. It's like it's what I live for, no matter how good or bad it is. To me, I look at it like if I went to a doctor and I was sick, I wouldn't want the doctor to lie to me and say I was healthy. I'd be pissed that the doctor told me I was healthy when I could have prevented whatever it is that might be harming me or making me sick or even killing me. I wouldn't want a doctor to lie to me, just like I wouldn't want a friend to lie to me. I wouldn't want anybody to lie to me. I can deal with it. Tell me the truth. And that way we can be on the same plane. And that way we can respect each other. I look at it this way. If you feel like you got to lie to me, it tells me you don't respect me. So I'm not going to be around people who don't respect me. Now, if you lie by mistake because you didn't know, that's because we're like iron sharpening iron. It wasn't the fact that you was lying to me. It was that you had the wrong information and now you have the right information. That's the same with me. I can get it wrong if I'm human, you know what I'm saying, which I am. And there's been many times that people were in this room and said, oh, that was this person's name. I was wrong. I said, you're right, that is their name. I forgot their name. I do that. But it's all about sharing facts and sharpening each other. It's not about we know it all. It's about we're in search of knowing the truth. And if we have to weed through a bunch of lies to get there, I'm on this treasure hunt to find facts and weed through the bullshit and to expose things so that we can find the facts. Sometimes you got to ask leading questions or questions that are open-ended so that you can get the facts. Sometimes you're going to feel aggressive when you're asking it because for me, I get aggressive when I can knowingly tell you're lying to me. Then I'm going to get aggressive with asking the questions. And I don't think anybody's going to be interviewed by me, but I'm trying to get people to do just that. As we grow, I'm pretty sure it'd be undeniable that people have to come and answer to the people, because my thing is to focus on getting the true answers for the people and not fluff. I'm not all about getting 400 answers to things. If my people want to know the answer to something and I get somebody on here that want to obfuscate, you got to know I'm not going to keep asking questions until I get the answer that my people want to know. Facts are everything. And if you come on any platform of mine to lie, I will I will let you know how I really feel about you. I'm not going to hold back. It is what it is. I treat people like I want to be treated. I would never reach into the recesses of my mind and offer you a lie that could harm you or hurt you or anything just for the hell of it. I give you the truth. Now, that may harm you or help you. That's not my problem. My problem is, my job is to give you facts. That's it. Give you the facts. And that's all I'm going to do. Try my best to give you the facts as I know them. And if they change, let you know. Like, oh, well, this changed. This person said something else. That is what it is. But you know me. You know what's up. So I'm going to look at that email. Anybody else? Let me go look, see what anybody else is saying. I want to thank you guys for the gifts. I keep forgetting to put up the support thing. I put it up and then I forget. Like, when it's at the end of the show. I'm bad at that. But those are the ways you can support me, as also in the chat as well. Let me see. Good choice of words, bully and punk fit him. Somebody said that. That's a DEKH deck. Troy Scott, love the content. Thanks, bro. I appreciate you. Pierce said, wow, deep. I don't know what was deep, but thanks if you were talking to me. Sometimes people are talking to each other. Trump is a bully punk. Yes, sir. Old school funk. Like old school funk, man. So you must be a Parliament Funkadelics guy. When's the last time you listened to Knee Deep? If you were a woman, you would have known Joe Tai. If I was a woman, I would have known what? Trump loves the uneducated, most definitely. Old school. Oh, yeah, talking to each other. You guys are coming from different groups, I think. That's what I saw earlier. And I felt too consumed by live shows. I needed to step back, but I like this show, so here I am. I'm glad to hear you're doing well. Are you guys talking to one another? I'm going to let you guys go ahead and connect. I thought you were going to. Every once in a while, people were saying something to me. I don't want to leave without talking to them. Thank you for a good show. You keep me sane and calm. Most definitely, Jan. You guys take care. Much love to you. Said, mothership, let me ride. Lynn, you know what's up. All right, I'm about to get up out of here. Much love to y'all. As always, I love the facts, and you being here, you must love them too. And until next time, I see you when I see you.